Funny. All right, man. So let's move off of that and let's talk about this whole situation that's going down in Memphis. So in Memphis, you had the pretty much the end, the grand finale of the Young Dolph murder case, right? There's a guy who has been named as the mastermind in the Young Dolph murder plot, guy by the name of Hernandez Govan, goes by Quete or Quet. Now, Hernandez Govan was pictured being set up, or people were saying that he was the mastermind in the shooting death of Young Dolph, but he ends up beating the trial, man. He beat the case straight out. Unanimous 12 jurors beat the case. Uproots himself, says he's about to move from Memphis, you know what I mean? But, you know, at the same time, a lot of people were conflicted. When you saw this situation play out, what did you think?
I mean, I don't know. He beat it, so, you know what I'm saying? And in the eyes of the law, he innocent. You feel me? Now, some people may think that he had something to do with it, but, man, none of us know.
Nobody knows. And I covered the whole case, and it was a short case that went by, right? And the case against him was weak. And the biggest thing that stuck out to me was the fact that even the text messages and everything that they took from everybody's phone, Justin Johnson's phone, Big Jook, which is Yo Gotti, was his brother's phone, everything that they took from CEO Teezy's phone, everybody's phone that was involved, there's nothing from Hernandez Govan where he was putting twos and twos together. I don't know if he was being extra careful because of his past as a drug dealer or whatnot, but he never put himself in a position where he was texting and talking too much. Like that, if he was involved, it saved him. But, you know, the case against him was weak because it looks like he wasn't. You know what I mean? So it was actually justice being carried out, to be honest. And this is coming from a guy who loves Dolph. I got a Dolph playlist. I bump Dolph all the time. You know what I mean? But that case against Hernandez Govan was weak. In a situation like that, how does that usually play out in your past?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, he called a blessing, but they did say a lot of that evidence against him was weak, so you gotta hire something on somebody to try to blame for something, but he probably was a scapegoat, though. They probably just tried to throw that on him, so whoever really had something to do with it don't go down. But that man to beat that, so that's over with.
Yeah, it seems like he did have a good case of saying that he was the scapegoat, because even Justin Johnson was communicating with Big Jook directly towards the end, and there would be times that Cornelius Smith and those guys would call him, but, you know, on top of that, he was a drug dealer, an admitted drug dealer. Like he said it was said by his lawyer in the trial. He admitted to that on Vlad already. But he dropped a bombshell in his interview. So immediately he beats the case, right? This was just a few days ago. He already books an interview with Vlad. He goes on Vlad and he starts telling his side of the story. Now, in his side of the story, he paints a different picture. He says that Cornelius Smith, the guy who was holding the AK-47 and, you know, took Dolph's life, had came to him and Big Jook and was saying that Dolph was the one who was in the streets trying to get people to go after Yo Gotti, which was a complete flip of things that, you know, that he said he had ever heard. When you hear that and you think about the narrative that's been painted in the media, what do you think?
People be plotting. That's what I'm saying. People be out here plotting, and people getting smarter, man. People try to get smarter, so people pray. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird situation because, you know, he has every right, he has every need to still protect himself and prevent anything from the feds coming down. But then, you know, he might be wanting to protect other people and stuff like that. So it's a weird situation with him because, you know, he's beat the case, but it's like half of the population still thinks that he's guilty. I mean, that doesn't matter because he's a free man, but, you know, it's a weird predicament.
He free. In the eyes of the law, he not guilty, bro. But for some people might, you know what I'm saying, they still like, no, you definitely had something to do with that. But that's a free man. They can't do nothing to that man. Also stream. I don't know. Because Dolph, he was a well-respected man, so he definitely was a well-respected man. I don't know. We'll see how that play out.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. And hopefully, man, he's smart enough to move somewhere far away from Memphis, no crazy cities, and he'll be all right. But that gets to my next point. So the next day, or I should say 2 days after he's been already found not guilty in his case, he jumps on the live with a blogger by the name of Ceddy Nash. Now, him and Ceddy Nash are going back and forth, and he's on that with Ceddy Nash. He's like, I'm gonna be out in L.A. I'll tell you when I'm gonna be there and everything. Come to find out, he did show up to L.A., man, and Ceddy Nash, self-proclaimed gangbanger, all that, right? But he's a blogger as well. So, what do you think with this situation that he's got himself in, or Hernandez Govan, where he's still wolfing on people or barking at people, but you still got this heavy case that you beat? It seems like a delicate situation, man.
I don't know what they got going on. I watched a little bit of it. I couldn't even sit there and watch the whole thing, but I watched a little bit of their little situation play out over there, and that stuff that Ceddy Nash would tell her he slap people like him and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yep, facts. Yep. Yeah,
they
went there, you know what I mean?
I don't know what they got going on. They just beefing. I don't know if it's for some publicity. I don't know if it's real or what's going on, but
that crossed my mind too. I was like, maybe this is promotion, because it happened on like a Friday night or whatever. So it's wild, man. And it just was so random, that these two worlds meet. Because rarely do you have the blog world, the YouTuber world actually meet with the streets. You know what I'm saying? It only happens on rare occasions usually, man. And for somebody who was just in with a national trial, like a trial people watching all over the country, and now he's on your live and y'all going back and forth, I even had my reservations. Like, is this staged and whatnot?
Yeah, like, I don't know. It could be staged, but you try to build his shit up, he can get some money, because now, people want to talk to him now after he done beat that. A lot of people gonna want to talk to him, so it's gonna be money. So if he could promote some more stuff, he can make some money off this clip. But if it's real, them two funny dudes. I watched a little clip of they was jerking with each other, man. I don't know what they was on.
That was funny. I ain't gonna lie. That was funny in the mud. I was like, this is wild. You know what I'm saying? Nobody expected those two worlds to collide, especially like that. And dude seemed like he was upset the whole time. You know what I'm saying? He seems like he's still upset now. You know what I mean? But that's his kind of energy, So I don't know, man. Regardless of all that, man, what do you think? How does this end for Hernandez Govan going forward, you think?
I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? You never know. Dude probably was the mastermind behind all this, but I don't know how him and that Ceddy Nash situation going to happen, because y'all said you said he went to L.A., he pulled up at L.A., ain't nobody do nothing to him, so it's L.A. He also guys. He at the game.
He definitely get those vibes, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. It be them coins you gotta worry about.
He's a wild one, man. It's wild, man. And I don't think this is going to be our last time seeing for Hernandez Govan, because he did talk about his wanting to work into the music industry. And, he tried to bring Straight Drop into now Straight Drop is aka Justin Johnson, one of the guys who was found guilty. He's essentially the guy who took the real fall for this whole situation, because he was one of the shooters. He was allegedly the guy with the pistol. And, he got sentenced to life. So it's over for him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we got to start thinking about it, though. Like, everybody getting caught for these crimes. So everybody going to trial for these crimes on these big celebrities. You got Durk, Dolph, Mo3. You know what I'm saying? Everything's starting to come out.
Yeah.
Better slow down, boy.